this is a debate about what Congress should be considering. And my amendment would simply allow Congress to express its will with respect to the release of the Epstein files. This is something our Republican colleagues and certainly key members of the Trump administration have been talking about for years until their recent about face. So, Congress can express its will. We would like to have it put up for a vote. It doesn't block any votes on the crypto bills or the Defense Department funding, but we think that the administration should release these files, and it really is a little confusing, I think, on why suddenly our Republican colleagues are blocking this, but perhaps it was a mistake. At least one Republican voted with Democrats last night to release the files, and so this would just give all of our colleagues the opportunity to say what they've been saying for so many years, that the Epstein files should be released. With that, Mr. Speaker, I would yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from California, Mr. Khanna.
The gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last night, the Speaker's Rules Committee voted to block my amendment that called for the full release of the Epstein files while protecting the victim's identity. Let's just be clear. They voted to protect rich and powerful men who were abusing, assaulting, and abandoning young women. That's what this vote is about. A nation that chooses impunity for the rich and the powerful at the expense of our children is a nation that has lost its moral purpose. So you ask, why did they vote this way? Let's speak plainly. Because these rich and powerful men donate to the politicians in Washington, D.C., play golf with the elites in Washington, D.C., they are foreign leaders who we don't want to offend, they interact with our intelligence agencies that we don't want to disobey. There is something rotten in Washington. And this is a question of whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the people? Are you on the side of America's children? Or are you on the side of the rich and powerful who've had their thumb on the scales and shafted Americans for decades? We are going to get a vote again this afternoon. And I hope people will find the courage of a Republican like Ralph Norman, or a Republican like Marjorie Taylor Greene, or a Republican like Thomas Massie, or the many, many MAGA Republicans who are demanding the full release of the Epstein files. It's not a question just of Epstein. It's a question of trust in our democracy. It's a question of restoring a government of the people, by the people.
The gentleman's time has
for
expired.
the people.
Just a moment. Does the gentlelady wish to yield any additional
Another
time?
30 seconds.
The gentleman has an additional 30 seconds.
And it's a question of the rebirth of a nation that stands for our children. I hope everyone in this up or down vote will vote to make sure that the Epstein files are released while protecting victims' identity.
Resume.
The gentleman from Georgia is recognized.
I join the millions of Americans who want accountability for anyone who committed crimes with Jeffrey Epstein, but I ask you, can you really trust the same radical leftists who presided over one of the greatest scandals in American history, a coup in Joe Biden's White House in which unelected staff actively sought the destruction of our country? Can you really trust the same radical leftists who sought to segregate those of us who opted to make medical decisions for ourselves during the COVID-19 pandemic? And can you really trust the same radical leftists who have spent the last decade trying and failing, trying and failing, and trying and failing to tear down President Trump, one of the greatest presidents in American history? And can you really trust those same people who are trying to stop us from passing the most important cryptocurrency legislation in history and appropriations to fund our brave military today? A vote against today's rule is a vote against cryptocurrency and our Department of Defense. I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from Utah, my colleague, Mr. Kennedy.
I'm not sure what the gentleman from Georgia is talking about when he says that my amendment is offered as a product of radical leftists. I mean, I know that it's rare in D.C., but this amendment actually has broad bipartisan support from the far right, from the far left, from the middle. We just want to release the Epstein files, and that's why we've offered the amendment, and this body has the opportunity to vote on it. I don't understand why my Republican colleagues are suddenly so adamant about throwing up procedural hurdles to have the Epstein files released. At any rate, at this point, Mr. Speaker, I would yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from California, Mr. Sherman.
It's not surprising that President Trump was against crypto until he realized that he could make hundreds of millions for his campaign and billions for his family by signing up with the crypto bros. This is Crypto Week. It's also Tax Evaders Month, National Drug Dealers Day, and Human Traffickers Tuesday. Vote no on this rule. Release the Epstein files. And don't try to distract us and say that the reason we can't protect girls in our country is because, I'll ask for another 30 seconds.
Yes.
Gentleman's recognized, 30 seconds.
And don't tell us we can't release the Epstein files because you hate Joe Biden or because you hate leftists. People on the right, people on the center, everyone who wants to protect girls in America says release the Epstein files now. I yield back.
On this vote, the yeas are 211, the nays are 210. The previous question is ordered. The question is on adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
I request a recorded vote.
A recorded vote is requested. Those favoring a recorded vote will rise. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, further proceedings on this question will be postponed.
I move the committee make an order amendment number 50 to H.R. 3633 offered by Representative Khanna, which would require the Attorney General to preserve and release any records related to Jeffrey Epstein. Madam Chair, on February 21st, 2025, President Trump's own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said on Fox News, the Epstein client list was sitting on her desk, quote, right now to review, end quote. Kash Patel, Trump's FBI director, said during his confirmation hearing that he would do everything, if confirmed, to make sure the American people knew, quote, the full weight of what happened, end quote. Patel, who now leads the FBI, said on the Benny Johnson show that the FBI was hiding the Epstein client list. Donald Trump Jr., the president's own son, tweeted out, and I quote, show us all the Epstein client list right now. Why would anyone protect those scumbags? Ask yourselves this question, and then the answer becomes very apparent, end quote. And now, forgive me, but suddenly these same people are telling us there's nothing to see here. Trump is posting that we should all just move on. Well, I want to know what the hell is in these files. And I think we all want to know why Trump is suddenly changing his tune and is so desperate to sweep this under the rug. But you know what? This also gets at his credibility. This is about trust. Republicans said, trust us, vote for us, and we will release these files. And here we are. They are backtracking. They said they aren't going to cut Medicaid, and they did. They said they wouldn't add to the deficit and debt. They exploded both. They said that they stand with law enforcement. They won't even hang a plaque honoring officers for their heroism on January 6th. They talk about law and order and can't even condemn the president for pardoning the people who violently attacked the Capitol building. So please forgive me if I don't believe a word of any of it. This isn't about gotcha politics. It's about credibility, or rather the lack of credibility on the other side, because they constantly say one thing and do something else. So I urge a yes vote on my amendment, and I yield back.
Is there any further discussion on?
Madam Chair, I fail to see how that amendment is germane to this rule.
And Madam Chair, we are the Rules Committee, and we routinely waive the rules of germaneness and make things in order.
This is about defense appropriations and crypto legislation.
Well, then you could
It
vote no
doesn't-
on it.
Mr. Scott, unfortunately, it is germane. Is there any further discussion on the amendment?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Leisure Fernandez, you recognize.
Madam Chair, the Epstein files concern issues of abuse of women and abuse of children. You know, as the chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus, you often see me raising issues of we need to address this. And not only that, but Republicans and the MAGA world have said they want to know about this. Your constituents want to know. So the question is, why are they not just releasing them? And I think it's a simple thing to do, and you're going to be asked to vote whether you require the release. That's going to be a simple vote. Will you require the release? Is there anything that needs to be hidden? If there isn't, then just release the files. Silence those who would question it. So every Republican on this committee should be able to easily vote yes. And with that, Madam Chair, I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Leisure Fernandez. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the question's on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment's not
Madam
agreed
Chair, I'm
to.
kind of shocked by that. I will ask for a roll call.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach? No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman? Yes. Mr. Norman, aye. Mr. Roy? Mrs. Houchin? Mrs. Houchin, no. Mr. Langworthy? Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith? Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack?
No.
Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern?
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon? Yes. Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse? Yes. Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Leisure Fernandez? Aye. Ms. Leisure Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair?
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
5 yeas, 7 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to. And I think most of us believe what's appropriate will be released when it is time for the president to release it.
Well, Madam
Thank you.